New Thought Media Network and the Universal Joy Center are proud to bring you The Joy Show. One voice, one story, infinite inspiration. Join your host, Barbara Jean, every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time or 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Tune in live or watch anytime on youtube.com/@UJOYC. The Joy Show with Barbara Jean. The perfect way to get inspired on Friday afternoons. Only on New Thought Media Network. And please like, share, and subscribe. And now, let's join Barbara Jean on The Joy Show.
Well, good afternoon and happy 2026. And I'm back live again. It's been a while. Anyway, I'm so delighted to be here. The Joy Show. Joy is an acronym that means just one you. And the people that I interview have remarkable, amazing, beautiful stories. And that's what I love to share here, to show how each one of us can overcome, to expand, and to be all that they were meant to be. So excited you could join us. And let us begin with a land acknowledgement. In the spirit of reconciliation and peace, we're grateful for the opportunity to meet on these sacred lands. We thank the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. We recognize our oneness, we realize our history, and we choose to create a new reality, for we are one. Yes, taking care of this beautiful land that we're on. Well, my guest today is Zoe DeMuro, and he has been active in the health and wellness community in a number of roles as a personal trainer, fitness and performance coach, wellness coach, transformational coach, and of course, a religious science practitioner, which is pretty awesome. Native New Yorker, Zoe moved to the West Coast over 30 years ago in a move that he found brought greater clarity and energy to his spiritual growth. Zoe is the host of And Zoe It Is, Stories of Truth, Transformation, and Triumph. And it airs the first Saturday of the month at 11 a.m. Mountain Time on the New Thought Media Network, where he is also a member of the production team and the prayer team. Welcome, Zoe. So glad you could be here today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, it's beautiful to have you. So, on this show, I like to find out a little bit about how you got where you are. And so I'm wondering, the journey that brought you to religious science, that brought you to the Centers for Spiritual Living, what was that? What was your journey like?
Well, I suppose it depends on how far back we want to go.
All the way.
Well, if we're going to go all the way back, then we'll start with the first line of the very first biography that I was ever asked to write. And it was, I was born into a time, a place, and a family that worshiped everything I was not.
Oh, yes.
I was a little guy. I was scared of everything, beaten on a fairly regular basis. Couldn't speak to a room. I couldn't open up my mouth in a room full of people if my life depended on it.
Wow.
And I had a very, very difficult childhood. When you were talking about the people that you have on this show, you're talking about how they have some interesting stories and such.
Yeah.
Mine was dark, very, very dark for quite a few years. And I simply want to say that it was steeped in violence and in remorse and in neglect and a lot of pain. Yeah. So consequently, I became an alcoholic at a very young age. And I had many, many opportunities where I was very much convinced that this was it. This was the last day. This was the last day. But there was something that held me back. There was something. And I always thought of it as this little something within me, this little encapsulated bit of energy. It's like an ember, and I knew that was there. And that was what kept me going. I didn't know what it was. Didn't have a name for it, didn't even have an idea about it. I just knew that there was something there.
Yeah.
So I managed to stay alive long enough to get sober. I've been sober for coming up on 45 years. Yeah.
Bravo.
And you know, it's funny when people say, wow, that's really wonderful. It's a great accomplishment. For me personally, the first 10 years were the accomplishment. After that, this is simply who I am. This
Yeah.
is my life.
Yeah.
So getting sober was the very first thing that allowed me to even consider a spiritual path. I was born into a Catholic family. That was a very strange family when it came to religion. My mother was a devout Catholic who went to church on occasion. My father was a devout Catholic who didn't bother going to church until he became a deacon in the Catholic Church. And then he was there constantly. And he actually became, after my mom died, he entered the seminary and became a priest.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. And he was tossed out a number of years later.
Happens. Dear.
So it was a very strange upbringing from a perspective of religion. And I swore that I would never have anything to do with religion again. I just, and I want people to understand, I am not denigrating the Catholic Church. I'm not denigrating the Catholicism. I am denigrating my experience of it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Very important.
Yes.
So I kicked around for a bit with the idea of being an atheist. I figured, sure, I'm an atheist. Why not? But I really didn't have the receipts for atheism because I saw too much going on in the world that I couldn't explain. Things that just, they were beautiful. They were wonderful.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so there's got to be something going on here. So I went on this path of exploration. I looked at a variety of different religions. And what I found was I liked a lot of what was being said. I liked the principles of them. I liked the concepts. I didn't like the organization.
Right.
Right. So I was fine with religiosity, if you will. I don't know if that's a real word or not, but not with the organization of the religions themselves. And I realized over time that what I was really speaking about was spirituality.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I talk about all the time with people is that spirituality does not need a specific dogma. It doesn't need a specific set of beliefs.
Yeah.
It's a recognition, it's an awareness of the vitality that exists. And, when we use the word spirit, we talk about a spirited conversation. And he was in good spirits. I mean, we're talking energy.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So I looked at Buddhism. I looked at, so many different religions. And what I found in so many of them were things that delighted me, things that I could really respond to. What I could not respond to was the idea of the white guy in the sky with the beard. Oops. Yeah. Who was judging.
That's funny. Oh dear.
I was sitting in a service one time when someone on the pulpit said, "Yeah, and if you're looking for that white guy with a beard in the sky," and the person next to me looked at me. I said, no, it wasn't me.
Wasn't me, honest.
But the idea of needing someone to intercede for me, the idea that that goodness was only going to be had if you followed a particular path, if you followed a particular set of rules. The whole exclusionary aspect of it really just weighed on me.
Mhm.
So I decided that I was certainly not an atheist. I was not an agnostic. I was just a spiritualist.
There you go.
And I continued to look around, and I wound up about, let me see, I think it was about 11 years ago. I was talking with a person who had been one of my clients for years, and she mentioned something about religious science, science of mind. And I said, "Look, I'm not interested in religion." And she said, "No, no, 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 no. This is something special. This is something that you really need to take a look at." And I said, "Okay, what have you got?" So she hands me the, I keep calling it the big book, but people keep telling me, no, that's what they call the AA book. Science of Mind text, which I've got on my shelf, but if I go for it now, I'm going to knock everything over. So she hands me that book. I open it up to the first page. I read, I closed it up. I handed it back to her. Yep, that's the one. Handed it back to her, and I said, I do not, no, this is not resonating with me. And she said, okay, try this. And she handed me a Science of Mind magazine.
Yes.
And I started to leaf through it. And I was like, oh, now this is good stuff. This is good. This makes sense. This I can understand. I mean, this was people speaking like people.
Yeah.
So I was intrigued by it. And I had the same feeling that I had years before that, when I had run into a book by an author named Leo Biscaglia.
Yeah.
Wrote a wonderful book called Love. And in that book, everything he said resonated with me. I was like, yes, this is what love is. It's not this transactional thing. It's this wonderful relationship that one has with truth.
Yeah.
And that word was something that was going to carry forward in my life over and over and over. So I'm looking at this magazine and I'm seeing the same kind of ideas. I'm getting that same feeling again. And my friend said, okay, so, where you are, there are several different places that you can go.
Yes.
And I said, I don't want to go to a church. She said, it's not a church. It's a spiritual center. I said, okay. Even though some of them do call themselves churches.
Some of them do, yes.
And she said, well, when are you going to go? And I said, well, let's see. Today's Wednesday. I said, I can probably go. And she said, Sunday would be a good idea. So I said, fine, I'll go Sunday. She said, all right, let me know how it goes. So I went to my first service at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living.
Yeah.
And I got there at about 5 minutes before things were about to start.
Yeah.
Literally snuck in the back, stayed as far back as you could possibly be and still be in the building.
Uh-huh.
And proceeded to cry through the entire service.
Yeah. It's interesting. I hear that story so often, where people, I've been in Toronto for 25 years, but I was in Calgary before that, and Vernon as well. So it's for the last 30 years I've been in this teaching, and what's fascinating is how many people will do that very thing. Sit right at the very back. Don't let anybody see me, because if I'm going to sneak out if it gets too weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And I had gone to some places where it did get weird and it felt cult-like. And, it was just, the energy was just wrong in those other places.
Yeah.
And as much as I wanted to just disappear immediately after the service, some people did come over and introduce themselves, and it felt comfortable.
Nice.
Even though I was uncomfortable, the interaction was comfortable. And they said, we'll see you next week. And I was like, yeah, it's a possibility. Well, I kept going.
Yeah.
And I think it took about a month before I stopped crying at every service. And it was interesting because it wasn't the things that they were saying that were making me sad in any way.
No.
It was this understanding that here were words and feelings that made sense, things that resonated with me. And that spot within, that ember, it
I know
burst
that
into
one.
flames.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And go ahead.
yeah, it's interesting, that feeling, because I feel myself getting a little teary as you talk about it, because I remember when I first walked into uh, a center, and it was in Calgary, and I walked in, and it was like I just felt this love, this just everything felt so right and so good. My life was a mess, but being in there for that hour felt just so right. Yeah.
So, I know that certainly people come to Science of Mind or to New Thought through many different approaches. And some people are fortunate enough to have had this in their lives from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it seems like so many people I have spoken with over the years come to New Thought because they were just so downtrodden, just
Mhm.
felt like they were hanging on by their fingernails.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly that's it. Desperation or inspiration, but most of it seems to be desperation. I need to find another way of being because this isn't working.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's how I
And
am.
and using those two words, desperation, inspiration, is really good because what gets you there, or what got me there, was the desperation, but what kept me there was the inspiration.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's one of the things that I love so much about this teaching is it makes sense. It's easy to practice, and you could even be a practicing Catholic and still come to a Science Mind center and feel completely at home. It wouldn't go against anything you're currently doing. If anything, all it would do is add to. And I think that's one of the things I love the most. When I first started CSL in Toronto 25 years ago, I had people who were Sikh and Muslim and Jewish, and I had a laughing yogi, and I just had this real mix of people in every possible age, and everybody was. I even had two atheists who loved it, and that to me says a lot about our teaching.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, everyone has some sort of foundational belief.
I think so.
And as long as your foundational belief is not exclusionary, I think New Thought is perfectly wonderful. I think it is a comfortable, comfortable and comforting place to be.
Yeah, it really is. Now, what got you to become a practitioner? Because that takes some years of training.
Mhm.
And so, what brought you to that?
Um, because of my past and what I had been doing for so many years in terms of working with people, I mean, I didn't even include what I did prior to the things that you mentioned in my bio.
Yeah,
I've done a lot of things in my life. Um, but I had really devoted myself to helping people to have a more fulfilling life experience.
yeah,
And I was learning as I went through all those different phases from from the personal trainer and up, that what people wanted was a lot more than physical. It was so much more than that.
yes,
And I, I, I wound up counseling people in so many different ways over the years that when I got to the idea of coaching, it was perfect for me, and I absolutely loved it. And I still found that there was that other dimension, that dimension of spirituality that I really needed to explore, and I needed to be able to express it to other people.
yeah,
It's funny. I often talk about how I'm not doing what I do for the New Thought Media Network because I'm looking for anything other than bringing out the joy that is possible in life.
Yeah.
So let me see, where was I? Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, why I became a practitioner. Yeah. So it seemed like a very logical step for me.
Yeah.
And the more that I understood, the more I wanted to understand.
Yes.
And I was one of those people who, they'd give you an assignment in prac class, and it would take me 5 times longer to get it done than most other people because I went down all these wonderful rabbit holes. If they mentioned a philosopher or a philosophy or a concept, I did a deep dive on it. And I loved the convergence of all of these different things that I had been studying, that I had been reading about, that I had been incorporating. And I was like, yes, this is wonderful. And the idea that Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science or science of mind, stated that we are open at the top.
Yeah. That's
That meant so much to me.
yeah, me too. Me too. Everything's evolving constantly, and we need to too. I think that's absolutely essential for us to grow. I mean, we don't know what we don't know, so we got to kind of stay open so that all that new information can find us and we can begin to explore new ideas. So yeah, the idea of open at the top, that to me spoke loudly right from the beginning.
Yeah. And I've always enjoyed the idea of an open mindset, that just learning itself
Mhm.
is a wonderful thing.
It is.
So being able to learn more and more about religious science and about New Thought meant so much to me. And I absolutely loved all of it. So I was very thrilled when someone suggested to me that, should be a practitioner.
That sort of brings all your skills together.
Yeah, that's what it felt
And,
like. Everything that I had been doing throughout my life was leading me to this.
absolutely, absolutely. It's interesting how that happens because I felt the same way. Even as a kid, everybody would come to me with their problems. Everybody would come to me and say, "Oh, this is going on, that's going on." And somehow, whatever I would say, I didn't know anything, but whatever I would say to them just helped them to calm down or to relax or to feel like somebody was listening or whatever. So it really was kind of a natural segue. Once I found this, it was like, I'm home.
Yeah, I didn't do that as a kid, but I certainly did once I got into the corporate world.
Yeah.
I mean, people would just come to my office, close the door, close the door. It's like, oh, the reverend's in session again.
I went through that in my real estate career. I was in real estate before I got into, before I became a minister. And in my real estate office, I would have realtors come to me going, okay, I've got a client and they've got this challenge. Can you do treatment with them? We'd go into the closing room and turn the blinds down so people weren't watching. And nobody knew, like they didn't know what Science of Mind was. They didn't know anything. And I'd go, well, there's this thing that I do. Do you want me to do it with you? And they'd go, yeah. And we would treat. And I had all these, but it was happening in the closing room. I wasn't closing real estate deals in there. I was doing treatment in there all the time, which I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. Yeah.
Understandably.
Yeah. Yeah. So where do you see yourself going, like moving forward? Is there something more you want to add? I mean, you just wrote a book.
Yep. I just wrote this book, and let me see.
From
There it
vision
is.
to reality.
From vision to reality, transforming your life experience by achieving smart goals and beyond. I wrote this because I've found that in a lot of philosophies where people talk about co-creating your life,
Mhm.
that they put a lot of emphasis on visioning,
Mhm.
and they speak about manifestation, bringing something into reality, but I feel that there's a gap. So I wanted to close that gap.
Nice. Oh, I
And
can't wait to get the book.
it's a short book. It's only like 55 pages long.
Yeah.
But and it's very process driven. So if you're not a process driven person, it's not going to work for you.
Yep.
But,
Yep.
but I have found so many people over the years that are process driven, and found that it was wonderful to be able to say, okay, so I wanted to be able to do this, and I tried this, and it didn't work, so I gave it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, we can do better than that.
Well, and I love that idea of the process, because I think, when you look at spiritual mind treatment, for example, I mean, there's steps to it. There's a process to it.
Yep.
And I think that's what makes it so accessible to everyone. Like, you can do A, B, C, and D and go, oh, I can do that. And it's got a plan. We're going to take a short break. And then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about how Science Mind has really transformed your life and made changes for you, and all the good from that. And we're going to have some little advertisers here who, keep us rolling in our video world, creating something beautiful. And be sure to come back after the break, because we'll only be gone for about 2 minutes, and we'll be right back.
Please help us say thank you to all of our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Center for Spiritual Living United Life, Sunshine Cathedral, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Universal Joy Center, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, Home Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living, Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. On behalf of New Thought Media Network, thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, come be you.
And we're back. You're watching The Joy Show here on the New Thought Media Network, and my guest, Zoe DeMiro, is a religious science practitioner. And can you share a little bit about how your life transformed, or how this teaching, what it did for you overall? What difference did it make?
Okay. One of the biggest changes was the idea of being clear as to who I am. Being able to establish my true identity. And I talk about this all the time with people, because you had mentioned the show that I host. And Zoe, it is Stories of Truth, Transformation, and Triumph. And the reason I wrote it that way, the title that way, is I had so many people who would come to me and said, look, this is not possible. I can't move forward. I can't do this. I can't see this. I can't address this, whatever it might be. And after we worked our way through what was holding them back, they said, it is possible.
Yes, it is.
So that's where that came from. And of course, yes, it's a pun on, and so it is.
Yeah. I love that, and so it is. It's like it's just perfect because, of course, we close all our spiritual mind treatments with "and so it is." So, just, I think that's genius, absolutely genius.
Matter of fact, actually, someone had said to me, you really need to do a show with that title. And I said, there's no way I'm going to do that. But I did use it in the beginning.
Yes, yeah, that's beautiful.
So just the idea of that, the name of that show, Truth, Transformation, and Triumph.
Yeah.
Being able to put aside the things that I believed about myself, that I was broken, that
Yes.
I was damaged goods,
Mm.
that I didn't have within me what it would take to really move forward, that I would always fall short. This was what I believed for many, many years.
Yeah.
And even today, I have to be careful with that. Writing that book, for example, I wrote that book. I started that book years ago. It came out of one of my coaching practices, and I just never had the idea that I could do this. I could truly do this. And I started to listen to what I was saying and listening to my thoughts and saying, well, wait a minute, is this in alignment with who I believe I am?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's interesting. So one of the ways in which being a practitioner and one of the ways in which the principles of New Thought have helped me is to keep me honest.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, it's the litmus test.
It really is.
And I've found that so much of it is so simple and yet so profound.
Yeah. The teaching is simple. The practice might take a little effort because
yeah, and I love that it's a practice.
It is a practice. It is. Hi, Wayne. Glad to see you. It's been a minute. Yeah, it is a practice, and that's so important to remember that it's not a one and done. Just like your workouts, right? You don't do a workout once and go, okay, that's it. I'm fit.
Yep.
It's like every day there has to be movement, right? And same with our mind. We have to move our mind too.
Yeah. And, since you mentioned that, I often will use working out or running to get a point across. And when I was a trainer, I had so many people who came to me with all these different physical issues. And they said, yeah, I had gone to physical therapy and they gave me these things to do and I did them. And I said, did they help? Yeah. I said, are you still doing them now? No.
Yeah, that's familiar.
Yeah. So being able to have a practice that is something that I don't have to do, it's something I get to do.
Yeah.
Has made a huge difference for me. Just starting with any of the foundational beliefs. Whenever I pray, I always consider what is the one particular foundational belief that I want to start with. And it might be about abundance. It might be about compassion. It might be just love itself. I mean, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And it flavors everything.
Yeah.
So as a practitioner, as a person who believes that God is indeed all there is, and that each of us is indeed divine.
Yeah.
It has opened up wonderful avenues. It has opened up wonderful possibilities for me.
Yeah.
And it's given me a courage that I didn't know I had. or
That's
we
beautiful.
had. Let me put it that way.
So tell me a little bit about that courage. How does that show up for you?
The very fact that I am here, the fact that I have a show, the fact that I've written a book, all of these things, the idea that there are people who call me and say, okay, remind me who I am.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
We sometimes need those reminders because life does what life does. And we're never done. Like we're on a journey without a destination. You know, the journey is moment by moment because there's only now. And so I'm forever moving into the now moment. And what am I bringing with it? And sometimes my now moment looks a little messy. And when it does, you know, I just have to remind myself that, you know, what is it that I bring with me into this moment? Well, I bring my heart space. And I'm one with everything. So I don't really need to get all caught up in the drama because I can just be and let it because whatever it is, it's going to move, it's going to shift. Everything changes constantly. So you can't really hold on to it tight.
No. I remember doing a presentation one time where people were talking about things that kept them from achieving what they wanted. And I had labeled it the great wheel of excuses. And after we went through a number of them, I then took that label off and I put on it the great wheel of this is life.
Yeah. 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 We're all on that journey. We're all on that little hamster wheel doing whatever, moving here and there. And we can experience it however we choose in any given moment. If I look at it and I go, this is bad, well, then I'm probably going to have a negative experience. But if I look at it as it just is what it is, and now what? I was like that, now what? Not the now what? you know, but, you know, that proper inflection of going, yeah, something great is coming. Like this is moving, and just getting okay with life in general. It is what it is. It's you know, there's nothing I can do to change what's going on out here because it's already been created. I have to change what's going on in here so I can perceive it in a new way.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember talking to someone and I was saying that I wanted to do something, but this happened. And she said, you know, you got to get your head out of your butt. She said, what you meant to say was, I wanted to do something and this happened.
Yes.
And therefore,
it really does change it quite a lot, just doing the and instead of the but.
Yep.
Because but just negated everything before it. Where if you look at it and you go, and this happened, and now, because it's always leading us in another direction, like something's occurring that's going to move us in a way that we don't know. We don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't even know what 5 o'clock tonight or 10 o'clock tonight is going to mean. We just know that this moment, you know, here I am, and now what? There's something more going to happen, and whatever's going on right here will lead me into that very next moment. So it's really about, you know, sitting back moment by moment and going, well, this too shall pass. Because you've had a few of those moments that you wanted to pass. And I've had definitely a few of those. You know, it's like you begin to change certain things in your life and everything around you begins to morph into something else as a result. Because we are kind of the center of our own little universe, but an aspect of the whole. And so everything we do impacts it all. And that's like really cool news because then if I'm really peaceful, then what's going on around me is probably going to be more peaceful. But if I'm anxious and uptight, it's going to be that. So how I view it matters. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So what's next for you? Like, you've written a book. When's it going to be published?
I'm not sure when it's going to be published, but it is going to be published. It's sitting with the editors right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
Um, and as I had mentioned, I have my show on the first Saturday a month,
Yeah.
and So It Is show, Stories of Truth, Transformation, and Triumph. And I'm always looking for people who would like to be on the show, by the way.
Pick me. We've already talked about that.
Yes. And we will get you settled into a slot sometime soon.
Perfect.
So I've been a member of the New Thought Media Network for a number of years now, and it has been an absolute literal godsend.
Yeah.
It has opened me up to so many different possibilities, and Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski has had tremendous faith in me.
Yeah.
So he now holds my license as a practitioner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And it's, yeah. And I love the community that we have. I love the idea that I'll say to Reverend Robert, I'll say, I was thinking about doing such and such. What do you think? He said, go for it.
I know that's always his answer. Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
So
that.
it's wonderful to have that encouragement. I am looking to write more.
Okay.
I want to continue to develop new shows. I have this one idea that I want to do these little 20-minute segments called Zed Talks.
Oh, I love it. I love that Zed Talk. Beautiful.
So follow the basic concept of TED Talks.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. Because I think this information, I mean, there's a lot of information out there in the world, but being able to sort of fine tune it. What I love about the New Thought Media Network is that here everything is along the same lines. There's it's all about how we are, totally connected, how there's a oneness with all of us and everything. And I love the positivity and the joy that comes with the shows that are being produced. It really is, it's a remarkable thing. And thank you, Reverend Dr. Robert. You've done good work, and we're reaping the benefits of it, really, because we get to be here and do these things, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yep. And it has, I pray on the network usually 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just such a wonderful way to start a day.
Yeah.
It's just glorious. And I always start by telling people that I am delighted and honored. And it's truly how I feel.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that definitely does bring me joy.
Yes.
Certainly.
Well, that's what I found with so much of this teaching. And the reason why we changed the name of our center from CSL on the Lake or Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake to the Universal Joy Center is what I realized is my life has become very joyful because of this teaching. And, I can't get spiritual. I already am that. So the idea of, there's this universe that we're all a part of, and that joy is the result of kind of bathing ourselves in the awareness of it. And so it was like, and I just got so excited the minute we came up with that name, going, oh yeah, that fits. that fits for me. That fits for this journey to talk more about joy, because that's where I needed to get to, because I was like you. I had a difficult upbringing, non-religious upbringing, which was kind of a saving grace, I guess. But, that idea of having a very tumultuous home and then bringing that life into the homes I was creating, of course, it continues until we kind of get that wake-up call and decide we must do something different. And what I love most about this teaching is I'm responsible for my life. Carte blanche. It's like,
Yep.
can't, a lot of people don't realize that. If you're experiencing a lot of negativity, you can change it, not by changing what's going on out here, but by changing what's going on inside here.
Yep. A prior show that I had done on the New Thought Media Network was called Choice, Your Creative Superpower.
Oh, I like that too. They got good titles. I like them. Oh.
Yeah, I actually think that that's going to wind up being my next book.
Oh, what a great idea. That's something in my eye.
And the idea of being a co-creator of your life experience.
Yeah.
Oh, that is huge. Absolutely huge for me. Being able to separate the concept of my life and my life experience and recognizing that they are not the same thing.
No, they're not. No, they're definitely not. Yeah, it's, I think, one of the things that really excites me about any of these conversations with people who are in New Thought is that, we're kind of on the same page, and we know, we kind of have an idea of what each other is kind of thinking and doing. But there's a way of being with one another that is so supportive and honoring, just because we've learned to listen and to just be, rather than to go, oh, wait a minute, I tell you what to do. It's like, we're not really telling people what to do. We're offering, ways of being that they can explore, but ultimately they got to do what they're going to do themselves. Nobody can do this for us. We have to do it our own way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way I define my role as a practitioner is I'll hold the lantern while you dig.
That's lovely. That's really good. I really, really like that. I like it because ultimately that's it. People will say, well, you did treatment for me and you changed my life. I said, no, I didn't. I did treatment with you. Yes. Not for you, with you.
Mm-hmm.
We're one. And you chose to take that and to apply it and to accept it. But I didn't do anything. I can't change your mind. I can only change my own.
Mm-hmm.
But if I see you as perfect, whole, and complete, unique and special, like everybody else, you might begin to see yourself that way too. And in that case, life just gets easier and better and more beautiful. So it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, we can't do it for them. It's just like exercise.
Yep.
I could hire 20 different trainers and not lose a pound or gain any strength until I actually get on my butt and do it. Got to do the work. Got to do the work. I love that. Are you reading anything particularly interesting at the moment that you're finding inspiring?
Let me see. What was the latest book that I picked up that I really liked? I have to figure out which one it was now.
There's always so many.
I can't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I literally have 12 books sitting over here that I'm currently in the middle of.
I was just going to say, I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them on my desk. And then 3 bookcases around me. So all full.
The most recent book that I picked up that I can remember the title of it's just a simple book of just inspirational thoughts and affirmations on a daily basis. It's by Mary Davis. It's called Everyday Spirit.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
And I really like the fact that it's not everyday spirit, it's everyday spirit.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's the reality, right? I think remembering that we're spiritual beings is something that we kind of have to be reminded of sometimes, because we get caught up in the day-to-day. I got to do this, I got to pay this bill, I got to cook dinner, I've got to, all these different things we need to do, that we can sometimes forget that we're not human doings, we're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
than just take. I just started reading a book. I don't know how it's going to be. So far, it's pretty good, and it's out on my dining room table. Into the Magic Shop or something like that. Anyway, it's interesting, and I thought, oh, somebody had mentioned it, so I thought, okay, I'll pick it up and read it, and it's quite a quick, easy read. But the first little bit is talking about, this kid goes into a magic shop, and then this woman says, well, I'll teach you magic. But the magic she's teaching him is how to fully relax his body, how to be fully present, how to quiet his mind. Like, these are the things I've read so far, and I'm going, okay, well, that kind of sounds like us. So I'm looking at it and going, well, that's, there's so many places where we can get inspired and get this information, that I think it's so important for those of us in CSL to really promote what we do, to stand up and really talk about what we do and not hide from it. I was thinking a while ago when I was at the last conference that, we're talking about prayer and treatment, and I prefer using treatment as my word, because prayer to me can get mixed up with religiosity, your word, my new word. And I don't want people to confuse it. And treatment is a very specific and clear path that helps us to, clear up our mind in a way that maybe other things cannot. And I love that idea of doing treatment on a regular basis to know the truth of who I am, because that's the only thing I really need to know. And to stop looking outside of me for validation, or, it's always nice when somebody goes, oh, you did that really well. We like that. That's okay. But we don't like it so much when they go, whoa, you suck. And the truth is, sometimes we do, and sometimes we do great. But if we can just come to a place of going, I'm going to do the best, or I'm going to be the best me that I can be moment by moment. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm just going to bring the best me to each moment, and recognizing that, of course, changes depending on the landscape. Like when my babies were, little tiny beings, 2-3 weeks old, my moments were exhaustion and, sometimes like just trying to get through a day. Whereas now that they're all adults, it's like, it's easier to find that peaceful place, but it doesn't mean stuff isn't going on. I tried to mail something to the United States. There's a trip. You would think that would be an easy thing, drop it in the mailbox, and no, not anymore. So I'm like, now I could get all mad and frustrated and whatever about that, but what would be the point? And instead, it's like, okay, so what can I do? And it's coming with that different approach of what can I do? And I think that's what Science Mind has given me, is the ability to take a pause. And it doesn't mean I do it perfectly all the time. It just means that when I become my very human self, and then I can just take a breath and go, I could do that different. Just an acknowledgement, a compassionate acknowledgement that, yes, I am a spiritual being, and I'm having my human moment, which I can just sit with and be with. There's nothing wrong with it. It is a part of my being. And at the same time, be able to reconcile the two so that I can return to a place of peace and joy. And I love this teaching so much. I could just talk about it 24/7 because it's so good. But I think it's just important to even remind ourselves that it isn't about perfection. It's just about being, and being compassionate with us first.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have signs all over my walls and my desk and my computer and such. I have, forget perfect. How about done? I've got self-compassion phrases, clarity, love, wisdom, compassion. I've got all these wonderful things that they guide my life.
Of course. Because we do need that. We do need that reminder sometimes that, like we have a bad night, we don't sleep well, we wake up in the morning and stub our toe, and all of a sudden everything feels a little like, but I've moved a number of times in the last few years, and the last time I moved, I always use the same mover. Just fabulous guy. He gets a group of guys and they rent a truck and they do whatever, and they're just fabulous. So the last time he said, I found something and I've had it in my truck waiting for you to give me a call for a move. And he said, I'm going to bring it to you. And it's a plaque that I have on my wall that is, what does it say? Yeah, love is. And then it just goes through. And at the very end, it's, I love you. And it's this great long plaque that now hangs on my wall in my office. And I thought, what a sweet thing. This man has moved me and the center probably 5 or 6 times in the last 10 or 12 years. And he thought to bring me this. And it was just something he found in a move. Somebody went, I don't want that anymore, or whatever. And he hung on to it because he knew I would like it. Because I tell everybody how much I love them. So it's like strangers on the street, I love you. And it brings great smiles. It's never brought anything else but a beautiful connection. And, being kind is easy.
Yes. Yes, it is. We use the phrase oftentimes that we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes.
And there's the and.
And
We should also consider that we have the opportunity to be spiritual beings having a spiritual experience.
yes. We want to do that one as often as possible.
Right.
I'm a spiritual being and I'm having a spiritual experience. That one is good. Well, so we're down to our last couple of minutes. And I always like to end the show by asking, what is the one thing that you would like to leave people with today? What do you think from this conversation or from your life experience? What is the most important thing that a person could take away from today's session?
Okay, it's going to have to be 2 things.
Okay.
First thing is you are powerful, incredibly powerful. You are a co-creator of your life experience.
Yes.
And the second thing is, and I end all of my prayer sessions with this, always remember that you are loved and you are love.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, I like to remind people that I love you. You matter. You are always enough. And that the world is absolutely all that it can be because you exist in it. It couldn't be what it is without you. And I think sometimes we don't hear that enough, that people see us as an integral part of the whole. And I'll use like a tapestry as an example. If one thread is missing, where would your eye go? Straight to that flaw.
Yep.
And we as people, if even one of us was missing in this moment, it wouldn't be what it is. So thank you so much for being here today. I've really enjoyed getting to know you more and spending this time with you. And of course, we're going to gather again in a couple of hours to do the good news.
Yep.
So that'll be awesome. Thank you so much, Zoe. You are a light in our world and one that is really, really needed and welcomed. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, everybody, this is today. So I'll be back again next week with another wonderful guest, another wonderful topic. And I just thank you so much for being here. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And be sure to watch every week. And if you feel up to it, drop a little donation into the New Thought Media Network. This organization is a charitable organization run on those donations. So please help us stay alive and well. Just be you. You already are all that you need to be. Bye for now.